goodness gracious. But, Bum, 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 bum. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's competitive Empires of Aether matchup features 3 of the top 4 players in the current standings. We've got Blue Shadow defending his first place seeding against none other than Gerald / Scooby, the biggest yeet, and a man who's been on a hot streak, but he's a little bit down here. The man himself won his last 3 competitive matches after making the swap from a turtly gameplay style to a super aggro, lightning, and fire dominant gameplay. The man even killed someone on turn 1 the other day. Let's see if these boys, these men, can recreate the magic that has happened so many times in this competitive season. It's Empires of Aether, the next great turn-based strategy board game that allows you to wield the power of an element of your choosing, vying control of a new power, new land, and new element. Aether. You know, I tried to get all that done within the Monday Night Football theme song. It was so close, just 3 seconds away. Just 3 seconds away. Gosh, we are so close. It's great to be here, Blue Shadow. Appreciate that sub tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. The boys are just now getting started. Oh gosh, the bands are going in. What? Hold on, let's get in. Ah! The bands are going in. I'm looking at this board. Oh, load it up, load it up. There it is, baby. Load it up. This board, courtesy of our randomizer, our board generator, has a plethora of swamps, so it is no wonder that Poison was not the first ban here. Water is also banned, even fresh off of its juicy nerf. In fact, it hasn't even been played in the competitive format since, and only been played in a couple casual games since, but still incredibly, incredibly powerful. But look at all these swamps. Poison would be a dominant powerhouse in virtually any corner here. But with Water and Poison out of the picture, I'm really looking at this corner down here to be a dominant player in the landscape, and I'm really feeling some pain, some agony for the player that gets it down here. But I'm looking for maybe a potential Magma play down here. Magma's got a few new abilities at his disposal, because really, I'm thinking this is going to be the 10-10 corner. Right? We've got 2 force to play with. If Nature got banned, so Nature, they're feeling scared of Nature as well. Yeah. I'm feeling like it's a Magma play or a Glacier play down there. I don't feel like you have that many options. Blood is getting taken with the 2020 start here. They actually banned Lightning as well. It's very nice to see that the bans are changing. The game is evolving. The bans are evolving. Blood is taken with the 2020 pick, and I got to assume that that's going to be Justin Blue Shadow, and it is. It's Dwarf Exterminator taking Blood. Blood's got that new monument at their disposal, and it's going to be, I think, a very powerful addition. On top of that, their altar is now a part of their passive. So you don't have to waste a tier 2 ability to get into really the core mechanic of your game. We've got Air actually getting a shot here. Air has been picture banned in every game so far, and yet only played in once. Only played in 1 game. So you do the math on that. Yes, Air is getting banned so frequently. So Air getting a feature here on this lovely Thursday night. Like we said last time, Thursday night football usually pretty garbage, but Thursday night Aether, always top tier. Fire getting taken with the 3rd pick. I'm going to imagine that's Ooflord with that 3rd pick here. I think it is, although I do see a red hand hovering over it. Fire has been an absolutely dominant force in the game, in the casual games outside of the competitive scene, so I imagine it's going to be very similar here. I'm still thinking down here in this bottom right, Fire just got picked, sure, so it's feeling unfortunate. But this is either a Glacier or a Magma play. So it's feeling rough for whoever this 10-10 player is, but if they land on the right element, I think they got a really good shot. Earth's never a bad pick either. We can get rid of one of those swamps. Earth might even be... I think Earth's definitely in the running there. Definitely in the running there. They're one of the few that can actually contend with Fire very, very early on. PC shut up in a sec. No problemo. Little delay here, boys. But it looks like we've got David researching perhaps Magma's new ability, so it's David that's stuck in this corner. I imagine it's probably a Magma play down here because you can get rid of one of the swamps with a free volcano. On top of that, with a pretty balanced economic start in getting that lake and mountain off the rip, you can get a half-priced lake with a resource building on it that's eventually going to be turned into a hot spring. Or we save the hot spring in order to turn one of those swamps into something. So we utilize the free volcano to turn this first swamp into a volcano, and then we convert this swamp into a hot spring. I think that's definitely a solid pick for volcano. And with their other abilities, pyroclastic vents serving as a counter to fire. Fire's in this game. Pyroclastic vents allows you to teleport to any volcano on the board. That could be a cheeky play here in the 10-10 position. And it is Magma that is picked here. Yo, this guy that's casting the game, does he know the game or something? Of course he does. Of course he does. The elements decree it. The elements absolutely decree it. So there we have it. The matchup is finalized, featuring some elements that haven't been in the competitive scene as of late. This is Blood, v Air, v Fire, v Magma. Magma starting at the 10-10. He does have a tough road ahead of him, but this is actually a good corner for him. This might be one of those games where you're not actually going for your 5 volcano quest. This might be one where you're playing for a more aggressive play, especially with the new feature of those pyroclastic vents. But Fire always a force to be reckoned with. They have a great corner. This mountain turned into a volcano will be fantastic for their food game in the mid game, which I imagine with the addition of this priority strike is going to be a turn 3 play in which you've got all these food tiles owned and you're making double the food production from them. So that's going to be really, really solid for Fire's economy. Air's got a really, really good food heavy corner, which is what they typically like to sit upon. And we've got a couple of weaker bosses. Koga's only at 50 health. We've got Corvus at 25 health. So is Blood going to make a play to compete for Corvus against Air? I don't think so. But you really don't have to worry about Magma, because I think it is Magma that's fighting for his life down there. Especially if Fire chooses to aggress upon him. It might be rough for him. The game might be too fast for him to actually keep up. Let's see if we can get some different music vibes here. Skip forward a little bit. Yeah, I wish song requests still were a thing. You know, DMCA, all that jazz. Right? We've got some weak bosses here with Stallion and Atlas. I'm thinking Fire and Air have a very clear-cut pathway to an early win condition. And then when you've got the likes of slower elements like Blood and Magma that are still trying to find their place. Yes, they just recently got some additions, new abilities, and therefore buffs, in my opinion. They're still trying to find their place in the metagame. So we shall see. We shall see what's going on here. I'm already liking what I'm seeing out of Magma here. I'm seeing a couple new abilities hovered here. It's going to be really exciting to see what he picks. Magma basically got a whole new strategy accessible for them in terms of the abilities they can select. A much more aggro approach. And I think when you've got Fire and Air in the game, that might be the play. Because you're not going to be full-on aggro. So even if you do lose a couple of battles, you're actually still in the game because you're such a powerhouse with your volcanoes just pumping out so many soldiers. So I really, really like it. But I imagine we'll see free volcano and then hot spring. And then potentially overflow if we get tons of food. That's what I imagine. And then I don't see how Pyroclastic Vents isn't going to be utilized in this tier 2. When the matchup is Fire and they're going to be putting their volcano right next to their capital, that's going to be saucy. So this was actually the exact event we were looking for to determine whether or not this card actually stays in the game. Because this card, Pyroclastic Vents, is going to shake things up in the Magma versus Fire scenario. But it's going to disrupt people who want to take Fire at 2020, I think. Because if you're taking Fire at 2020, that means Magma can be taken at any turn position after you. Feels strange. But if you're planning on playing Fire, is the #1 ban you're going for going to be Magma? Is this card healthy? Does it belong in the game? That's the question. And I think this game is going to be the surefire teller of it. But these are 4 of the greatest minds we currently have playing this game. And so if there's anything to be exploited, I imagine we'll probably get a pretty good indicator as to what that is going to look like in this matchup. David, the biggest yeet, a former tournament finalist. He's not going to let Scooby go unpunished by putting that volcano right next to his capital. Let's go ahead and get these turns in order for him. We got green going first. We got Scooby going second. It's going to be blue third, yellow last, I believe. So I like it. The new abilities change, cause new elements get banned, new elements get picked. It's exactly what you want to see. You want to see diversity in this game. Throw these decks here in the middle. The new weather events are all in play. Good things here. Dragon Slayer hasn't been seen in the competitive scene for a bit. But stables. Stables. Very controversial landmark tile. Perhaps too affordable. Too powerful. With the likes of air. But really, I don't think it's the aggro nations that are the most broken with stables. I think it's when your mid to late game nations that get stables are so powerful. Magma with bonus movement? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. But fire with battle cry every turn? That's spooky for the boss killing. So Magma is really the main one looking at their abilities. Let's see if Blood's got some new ones in there. He is taking the Blood Bank Monument. We were really hoping we were going to see this. Very excited to see this new game mechanic in. Monuments are tier 2 abilities. They are structures that you can place on a star tile that you own. And this monument is just going to supercharge your Exsanguinate ability. Right here. Gives you 3 charges of it. And on top of that, your bat form doesn't count as your general's movement, so you can teleport and then move again, providing a lot of aggressive pressure. Imagine that used in conjunction with Exsanguinate. Very few elements are going to be able to contend with that. So really, I think Blood is looking for 10 food and 20 BM, actually, which is a really strange resource combination compared to what other elements in the game. It's usually 20-10 that a lot of elements are going for. So Blood is looking for that extra 10 BM in order to make that Blood Bank. But you know what's going to help him do that? Transfusion. Transfusion is going to help him bridge that gap if the economy is not exactly behaving the way they're looking at. Didn't even notice that they've got double Rainforest up in their corner. That's going to be a juicy turn 1 open for Blood. Really liking that feel. But he does have the Red Shadow at his disposal. Red Shadow is going to put that general to the middle of the board, so maybe he gets some cheeky picks on some straggling soldiers that are creeping towards the middle of the board, or maybe he kills a general. If he kills that general, he's getting an extra 5 on his blood doping passive, and that is massive for the early game. Massive for the early game. Blood does opt to go for the request here, so he is playing for that late game. I like it. I think Blood's got a very good pathway to victory, but air. There's a reason why it's banned in so many games. It's got a very clear-cut pathway to victory, and yeah, they're going to go for those boss tiles. When you've got a 25 health boss next to you, you got a 50 health boss next to you, and on top of that, 50 health boss across the board, 25 over here, you're not really looking at Zephyr to come into play. In fact, I think it might even be a bad ability take in this game, because who's on the opposite corner from you? It's Fire. Fire's not letting these survive till turn 5. Not a chance. Fire's going to kill all these. So Zephyr might even be a bad take here. But we'll see. We've got lots of movement potential with Fleet of Foot. We've got High Road, which is that lightning tier 3 that has caused so many victories this competitive season. Air's got it as well. However, Harpy is not on the board, therefore they don't have access to that tier 3. They're going to have to actually pay their way to get there. So they do have to play the economy a little bit. But starting at 16-16 with 2 fields in the corner, they're going to have a lot of food. They got to prioritize these mountains to stay good and balanced. But I think we're going to see Air very early on contend for this Corvus. What ability would they want? With the likes of Light-Footed and Gust, perhaps they just go super aggressive on Blood and they Gust at Blood General away, something like that. Take Corvus turn 3 and they could just full-on aggress potentially. We'll see. Could even wait for a tier 2 play with it, because Blood is really not going to pressure too much. Alright, let's take a look at these abilities. Magma does end up opting for Pompeii. This is the traditional play for them. And it does have some changes. Definitely got a big buff here because it has a scaling price, which makes 10-10 Magma extremely viable. And then we've got the Hot Spring as expected and the free Volcano. So we're looking for him to probably pay for his first Volcano, maybe the first 2 Volcanoes, and then pop his Volcano from nothing to get a free one. But getting 3 Volcanoes out of the gate is pretty wild. Lots of free soldiers. And then we've got that Pyroclastic Vents. Jumping into one Volcano and going to another. If I were Fire, I'd be very hesitant to put my traditional big juicy food-giving Volcano right here next to my capital. I'd be very scared. So what I might do is I might aggress upon Magma as quick as I can to stifle that early advancing to tier 2. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pop these turns here. It looks like the game is ready to go. Let's get into the spectator position. And it's David with the first draw. Gets a good combat card here. But not what Magma wants to see in the early game. They want to see something that bolsters the prices of things. Right? You know what? I kind of want to take a little peek, see at the weather here. I don't want anyone to shuffle this. Ceasefire is going to be a meaningless one. But then we got a very weird Peace Talks here. So Red Shadow's feeling kind of rough. But actually, it's ridiculous. Because if the generals move off of that tile, then Blood's general can pounce on them. And because if they got extra +5 onto them, they actually have a great shot at winning that fight and getting an early +5. So let's see if Justin actually... Oh my gosh. Yo, weather is crazy this game, boys. We've got some good ones. I don't want to spoil all the fun here. Although I did just hover it on the screen. We don't want to spoil all the fun. Weather is going to disrupt this game heavily. Magma is going for the 5 Volcano quest, as we already said here. I imagine... Let's see what he does here. Is he going to pay for 1 Volcano already? I don't think he has enough to do that. Ooh, I don't know if this is the right play, actually. Gonna go ahead and get that free Volcano, which is going to increase the first Volcano's price by 1-1. He's gonna have to pay 5-5 next turn. He will have enough for it, so that's fine. But a little inefficient in that regard, I would say. Because I think you pop the free Volcano when you get to that 2 Volcano range. Because normally you'd have to pay 7-7 for it. So I think a little efficient... Oh, wait a minute. So he's going to go ahead and convert that lake to a hot spring. I was thinking maybe we save that for the other swamp, but it's very clear now he just wants to make that into a second Volcano. But that's one of the strongest attributes of Magma, is you can get rid of those useless swamps for a much more beneficial food-giving tile. Okay, he's going to swap it, convert the lake into a Volcano instead, and convert that... Yo. They trolling me. Someone's getting I feel like I'm the one getting trolled. That's what's in the chat. Someone is trolling me. So he converts the swamp to a Volcano, lake into a hot spring. Much more viable. Maybe he's going to play for the temple to turn that other swamp into a hot spring as well. Don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting. But we've got that good central Volcano, which is going to be optimal for the Pyroclastic Vents. Fire gets the Friendly Dragon. Friendly Dragon advantage card right into the gates. Fire's... Wow, they're cutting bait here. They don't care. They're going to priority strike by this mountain. Is he going to go ahead and Vulcanize it? I think if he goes ahead and Vulcanizes it... So Fire just really exercising the strength of this ability. This is such a massive... I think this card will get a nerf here not too far from now. And I think it'll be the kind of nerf that I think is healthy for the game. Sand just got an ability that is only activated when they're in the 10-10 or 13-13 position. And I think that's when this card should be active as well. I think this card should only be viable when it's a 10-10 or 13-13 position. I think it's very healthy for it. So he does turn the mountain that's 2 tiles away from his capital into the Volcano. So he's already adapting to that Magma card, Pyroclastic Vents. So very, very heads up from Scooby there. Big fan of that play. Big fan of that play. But with a mountain and a Volcano, he's already got +3 add-on to his dice roll. He can pressure the Stallion next turn, most likely. Because he spent next to no food this turn. Because he got those 2 soldiers for free. So he's going to be making 5 total food here, so he'll be at 10. If he gets any kind of advantage card that gives him 2 extra food, he could pop an army on this field and take Stallion turn 2, which would be absolutely ridiculous and disrupt this game completely. But he's also got this guy on the back burner. Holy moly. And we go to Ooflord. Great card for Air. Air is not the most economic nation, so getting discounted early soldiers, fantastic. This is going to pressure that Corvus boss tile even more so. With only 25 HP, we're looking at a turn 2, perhaps even a turn 3 kill. Should reverse that. Turn 3, perhaps even a turn 2 kill on it. I'm really liking how this is shaken up because I see strategies for all 4 players, and it's been a while since I've seen that. The last few games that we've streamed, we picked a winner based simply on where the elements were positioned and who was playing them. Boring, right? Not this game. I see wins for all 4 elements right now. And to be fair, we took a peek-see into the weather ahead of time. We took big peeks into the weather. Weather is going to disrupt a lot of things this game. So Air's going to go ahead and pop that light-footed. That general is going to jump from the field to the swamp, allowing him to buy both of those tiles, getting him an early barracks there. He's going to perhaps pop this advantage card right away. It might be a play. But I think more likely what we're going to see is we're going to spend a soldier and go buy this field, put a resource building on the field next to our capital. That's what I would imagine. Make a good amount of food so that we can buy a bunch of soldiers next turn and the turn after and kill Corvus. I'm not worried about Blood competing with me. But I do think with Corvus being here, Tailwind, Gust, maybe I can go to tier 2 really fast. Air can go for a pretty early kill on Blood. How is Blood playing this early game? Air and Fire. Between Air and Fire, 2 of the most aggro nations in the game. So crazy. So he's full on buying 3 soldiers. Full price. Full price, full price. Gonna opt to buy that mountain instead and puts a resource building on the field. I think that's definitely a solid play. I actually love the positioning of Jake right now. I think Jake has really figured this game out the last couple weeks. Ooflord. Ooflord's really figured it out. He's won a few games, and like I said, he achieved a turn 4 victory just yesterday by killing someone on turn 1 and killing a second player on turn 4, a dominant presence. Blood gets a great advantage card given the circumstances. Not a high tier advantage card, but when you're in between Fire and Air, I think it's pretty good in this early game. Yeah, you got to play this short side. You got to play it super strongly. So we've got Blood buying the Rainforest and the Mountain. His next tile purchase will garner him a free castle. What I would imagine we see occur. And it's so unlikely that Air is going to be able to pounce on this. Actually, does he have enough to go barracks, soldier? It's so rough putting a barracks here. But he's going to go ahead and do it on the swamp, get a free castle here. I think that's the right play. Blood, very, very good at setting up these early defenses so they can guarantee their presence in that early game so they don't die to any early aggression. And Justin, the King of Blood. There's a freaking ability named after him. For Pete's sake, Blue Shadow. The Red Shadow. Maybe we'll have every color shadow in the rainbow. A Roy G. Biv Shadow. And we're going into turn 2. Pretty standard opens. No attacks can be declared. Bloods with a sigh of relief, potentially. Blood with a sigh of relief. So I think they're the only one at risk of any cheeky attack from Air. But with that castle in play, I don't think it's too viable. But I'm thinking Air is going for Corvus this next turn. Got that discount regiment. Left both of these soldiers here. I think people would be, you know, pretty easily predictable what he's doing. So, he's going to train an army, and with an army and a general, he's actually guaranteed to take this his next turn. So, we're going to see a boss kill turn 2, most likely. But he's got to be careful. Is that going to be too much of a commitment into this? Plus, we're taking something that has a great ability if I can hold on to it. Blood's not going to be taking it. Right? Anyways, let's focus on the guy who's actually playing right now. Magma, well-fed mercenaries. Great card, but that's a lot of food for Magma. Magma is not usually flush with food. until a little bit later on in the game once they get a few volcanoes under their belt. So he's going to buy that swamp. He's sitting at 8-2, so he is 3 BM short of getting to turn that into another volcano, but he's definitely going to be shooting to do that in the next turn. But I think this is probably where he's holding, right? But Fire is looking at a 2-turn window to really pressure this Pyroclastic Vents from just absolutely undermining him. That's pretty nuts. That's pretty nuts. Budget cuts, great shutdown on someone like Magma. I think we should probably see it. Because he's not at a point where he wants to utilize an extra 3 BM to purchase an extra barracks. So in my opinion, Fire should be using this turn. And if he does, I think that is the declaration of war upon Magma, which maybe that's not Fire's strategy. But with their abilities that just absolutely counter you, don't you have to? Don't you have to utilize the advantage that you have, which is, I've already got +3 on my dice roll. And if I go on the short side coast, I'm going to have +4 on my dice roll with that extra mountain. I got to take advantage of that. There's just no way. Plus, I got the friendly dragon. It's just a few soldiers. Because once he puts up that resistance, I can incinerate everything. Isn't that the play? I at least position 1 soldier here. Absolutely. Buys that mountain. Buys that mountain on the short side. So he's now sitting at +4 on his dice roll. Absolutely massive in turn 2. Absolutely massive. And he's also within battle cry distance. So he wants to hold on to this food. And all he needs is 3 BM to really mess things up for any of the opponents that he chooses to go for. Because he can kill Stallion next turn, or he can pressure Magma. And I think both are viable options. Does he go for the very obvious Stallion play? Or are we eyeballing Magma's resources? He's netting 6 and 10. He's going to be at tier 2. Jumping to event next turn is not out of the question. I don't think Magma wants to do it. I think that's a total waste of the ability. But hey, David's been known to make some rash and bold decisions and have the weather roll his way and bail him out. Don't think that's a winning strategy. I think it takes them both out of the game, and that's going to really put air and blood in the driver's seat here. But based on, a few micromanaging decisions, Magma's kind of stifled their own economy within the first couple turns. A very inoptimal turn 1. With those 2 swaps, turning that lake into a hot spring, very inoptimal. And I say very inoptimal. It's like 2 food a turn, right? You're costing yourself in the long run. So not terrible. Air is going to go very predictable, play the very first advantage card of this game. Purchase soldiers for just 1 food from that barracks this turn. Getting him an army. He's going to go for Corvus, but I don't know if this is a play. Corvus is a very powerful ability. Blood's not a threat to it anytime soon. It's a guaranteed half-win condition, right? It's certainly that. And that's not to be negated. That is huge. It puts you in a central position on the board so that when you go tier 2, your fleet of foot is very, very impactful. Now, we have seen the next weather event, so we know that it's not as impactful as it could be. But, of course, Ooflord doesn't know that. Holding on to that tailwind, he doesn't actually... Wow. Not going the way I thought he was. Going to buy that mountain on the center. Where's he going? Where's this man going with an army? God, if he goes to war with, you go to war with blood, man. Go to war with blood. You've got the best blood counter. It's only turn 2. He's gusting Blood's general off of the temple. What? That's what he's hovering right now. I think he's doing it simply to reset Corvus when he takes it next turn. Which, this is actually so strange. This is very weird. The text of I never have foreseen this event, but currently the text reads that you can't move the general to turn 3. It doesn't say that you can't move him as long as he's in the temple until turn 3. Maybe a little hotfix change there. Does opt to not go for it. It would truly be a waste of an ability, as we all know that the next weather event is Peace Talks. And I think that would bring nothing but peace, as Peace Talks often does. One of my favorite weather events in the game. Peace Talks? No, it ain't peace, especially when Blood's in the game, baby. So, if he rolls a 2 or higher, he kills Corvus right now with this army. Or if he blows Tailwind, blows Tailwind, it's higher than a 1. 2 was a tie without it. But if he blows Tailwind, all he has to do is roll a 1 or higher. Or roll a 2 or higher to kill. Without Tailwind, it's actually a 3. A 2 is a tie. Very interesting. He gets an announce card. Gotta play the announce card. I don't think he's seen it. Hello? What do you think these arrows are for? What? He's like fighting the play. Yo, why do you think I'm picking it so much? It is an announce card, so it immediately triggers the effect. And of course, we've seen it. It's Peace Talks, baby. Which this brings the exciting features of this game to the forefront. The very next weather event is going to disrupt everything. And I think it's actually going to... Blood is in an excellent position here, and Air and Fire are both in excellent positions here. I think this is going to leave Magma in the last place standings to win this game now. Whomever's general steps off of their tile is going to die to the Blood general. That's what the risk is. And that has massive implications on Blood's early game. So I'm wondering if Justin is seeing this. I mean, he's got to, right? Justin, Blue Shadow is the Blood Master, the Blood Main. But when he kills a general, it counts as killing 5 soldiers. Blood not doing much on their turn. I think just buying a couple tiles gets that second rainforest. Very solid there. The economy's going to be looking really good real fast. New weather, baby. Boom! The first time this weather event has appeared. Yay, yay, yay. It's crazy, boys. All star tiles that are unowned are becoming boss tiles. Which happens to be all of them. So we've got the Kraken, which can't be there, actually. Gotta re-roll him. Re-roll him a couple more times. We've got Terrace, Cerberus, the Minotaur, and Vipress. Nutty, nutty, nutty. And Soup Lines is the advantage card drawn by Magma, so everyone's getting a food bolster. That's really bad news for Magma once again, because now Fire is just going to be going at them even more so. Holy, these boss tiles all around the board. Fire's got amazing boss killing capabilities. And now Air taking the Zephyr ability is not truly terrible. But now we got to get to tier 3. But I don't see these elements doing it so much. I think the elements got the best case, best opportunity for doing so. Definitely going to be Blood here. Because I think Blood might be okay with these bosses getting killed. Because really, it's only a big deal. Because Air and Fire are going to kill 2. It's only a big deal if they get to 3 and 4. If they kill 4 bosses, obviously they win the game. But Fire can realistically do that in a couple turns. Like, he needs a little bit more help, but 14 food already. Can go tier 2, but I don't think he's playing to bolster this, man. How weird is this game? This dance between Magma and Fire is so interesting to me, because I'm not really sure what I would do. Not really sure how I'd play. Magma not opting to go tier 2, and I do think that's the correct play. You gotta fortify it, right? We need to spend this 10-10 a little more optimally right now. So he's just fortifying this in middle ground. These bosses provide pretty good barriers between me and some of the opponents. But who's brave enough to move their general off of the temple? And what's so unfortunate for Air is this mountain tile is easy pickings. Whoever's got BM, just slap that mountain, put a couple DFs on it, make it really hard for Air to take. Why not, right? Get a free mountain for a turn. Now, Air's got a lot of strength to take it back pretty soon, but who knows? Who knows? This board is looking a little wonky. Goes to the temple, refreshes that free volcano. Very good play for Magma there. It's going to take him to 13-0. I guess just 12-4. Can still afford the lake or the forest, but he can't fortify them. And with Fire sitting right here, it is spooky. It is a spooky position to be in. Magma poisoning some troops on that volcano is spooky as well, with pyroclastic vents in the running here, ladies and gentlemen. Massive counter potential to the Fire Nation. And then we also have first time use of this ability. San Andreas did it. Another way to get a free volcano. Shouldn't say free. Your general does have to win a battle. In fact, if you went tier 2, he could have actually done it here. So we got a couple messages in the chat indicating implications from this weather event, gearing players to go in a slightly different direction for their late game finishing strategies. Fire is asking if killing bosses counts as the Fire quest, and the answer, of course, indeed it does. Indeed it does. But Fire's got to get to tier 3. I don't think we're getting there. And if we're waiting till tier 3, I think we've missed out on most of our opportunity. But maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Blood moves too slow. But Magma, I think, is truly the scariest. Goes to Scooby here. Gets play dead. Fire hates this card. Fire doesn't plan on losing a defense. Interesting. Next question in the chat was, are joint battles still a thing? Meaning, can two players work together? And I'm thinking they're saying that they want to work together to fight their way out of here from the Blood General. Very interesting. Very interesting. This is clearly a battle of the bigs, players of the experience. Fire and Air currently the only ones with armies on the board, but Blood is going to have a juicy economy. Blood is about to be a force to be reckoned with, but Air's got a very cheeky advantage card in their back pocket. Ooflord is sand-tiring Scooby. Dwarf is saying, I will hold them hostage. Blue Shadow is saying, I am holding the generals hostage on the temple. So fantastic. Fire does claim their first boss. That is the first boss kill. And of course, it's the Winged Stallion. Massive implications on the early game. If this swamp stays open this turn, he could fly there next turn and take Corvus. That's a second boss right there. And then he's got Dialgon and Aklis right here. So I think actually that might be what Fire's strategy should be. could disrupt Dialga over here. And Air's taking Corvus this turn. But I'm just saying if they don't. Hold on. Sorry about that. So yes, no generals are brave enough to step off. The only one that should be a little more inclined to be willing to do so is Air. But they have to use its advantage card poorly. Interesting here. The bosses count as star tiles. This helps me attack bosses. Yo, this weather is awesome, man. If anyone watching this has played several rounds of this game, this is such a rare, unique game. Not only from the elements mixing, but the advantage card interactions as well. We've got the blood counter advantage card very early on. We've got the boss killing potential that wouldn't normally be there. It's fun. It's very fun. Air's at 0 and 4. I gotta imagine he went tier 2 here, right? Maybe not. Gotta be killing Corvus here, right? Puts a defensive fortification up. I definitely think that's a good play there. We're taking Corvus, right? Probably the worst element to get Corvus on their side of the board. Don't really have any good tier 1 abilities they want to reset, especially at this point in the game. Could move a soldier to that mountain and... Oh, he's going for Terrace instead. I actually like this play much more. It does leave Corvus open for Fire this turn, though. And I think Fire should probably do it. Wow. So he's got +2 add on his dice roll. If he goes with Tailwind, adds +3 on the dice roll, that would make it a guaranteed kill. So he gusts the Blood General. Right? Blood General off the tile. He does. He gusts the Vampire off. Just says, Fire, you have him. Deal with him. I like that play. So if he takes an army here, if he takes 3 soldiers here, is there a chance that he kills this? He's not using his advantage card. I think that's the right move. Can he go ahead and use that advantage card? Was that even necessary? With the 3 soldiers, it's guaranteed, right? Or is he going greedy here, trying to kill Corvus as well? But he can't do it unless he's tier 2. I think that's what he wants to do, but... So he does kill Terrace, and he gets an extra 20 BM off of that, which is what he was hungering for. So he's not tier 2, he's tier 1. But Corvus is going to get taken by Fire, I think. Unless Blood moves her soldier here, but does Blood really care about stopping Fire? But Fire's tier 1s are much more impactful than Air. Blood has essentially gotten 2 of the same advantage cards, so I think out of all the advantage cards, Blood has gotten the weakest one so far. It's also the first turn that Blood is able to move, and he just got gusted off of the temple. Doesn't have anything to attack and victimize, but he can take away a little early volcano action. His economy's at 16 and 12. He doesn't want to go tier 2. Maybe he does. Doesn't really have any good tiles that he wants to turn into the altar, though. Blood is sitting in a tricky position. I'm not really sure what I would do. Not really sure. Air has really stifled my general's potential to disrupt this game. Fire is already creeping on my doorstep. Right? They're battle cry away from being one tile. And actually, okay, good. Very smart play from Justin here. Buys that lake and then moves to the field and buys that one as well. Puts a castle there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a free castle, too. He said it was a 6th tile owned. Very heads-up play there. Fire can still knock it down super readily. But at least I don't die this turn. If he left that field unoccupied, unpurchased, he was dead this turn, I think. Cheeky battlecry plays. Cheeky battlecry plays. And then the game's just over at that point. Fire's already killed a boss. There's so many bosses to choose. Magma's going for the kill on the volcano. And he's doing this because Fire's got great potential to attack him this next turn. Blood's going to attack that volcano and put a castle down. Super aggressive play here. I really like it. I think it probably is the play. You cut off that added dice roll onto Fire. But this might be one of those plays that just kind of takes you both out. We have to use too many resources to hurt each other. Oh. So we're going into turn 4. Food production is double this turn. It's a big resource game. Magma now has an army on this volcano. And what are they sitting at? 10 and 11, but they'll be making 18 food this turn. That'll be pretty much enough food for them for the rest of this game, I would imagine. That's gonna give them enough food to purchase their next couple of volcanoes. They got a free volcano on the back foot. They can actually convert almost every tile they own to volcanoes in the next 2 turns. Massive. Does Rain Dance remove this weather effect? Yes, it does. It would cancel out Fertile Soil. Because Fertile Soil happens, the effect happens at the end of the turn. If Fertile Soil is not there, the doubled food production will not be there. So Blood does have an opportunity to cancel this. That's the benefit of going 2020 as Blood, is we can utilize our universal donor abilities in order to enhance our economy. Blood hasn't had a chance to do that just yet. And so if everyone's getting enhanced production, you lose your advantage. So it might be the move for Blood to disrupt this. But the question is, does Fire even care about this volcano? Or is Fire just going to come slapping down my castle? He just needs to shift this soldier back onto this field. Then he can't die next turn. And perhaps he puts himself in a position to kill Blood next turn. He could build a barracks here, train a soldier. Wow, Fire actually is making no food. Only at 7 food. Why is that? Fire's economy is pretty garbage. They just have mountains and volcanoes. A lot of bonus on the dice roll. Oh gosh, I thought this lake wasn't occupied for a second. I was like, oh, Fire just teleports and kills. So Fire can actually move into air here, teleport to this lake, and be 1 tile away from their capital. Fire can kill air this turn. No, he can't. He's 1 food short. He is 1 food short. If Fire had 1 extra food, he could fly to this lake right here, buy it, build a barracks, train a soldier. The army would attack this lake, and then the soldier could battle cry into the air capital. He is literally 1 food short. If he draws an advantage card that gives him 1 food, there is a kill here. But the question is, does he see it? And does he draw that food? Magma making some plays here. How interesting would it be if Magma actually comes to the rescue of Fire here and comes to this Blood volcano? Definitely don't see it happening, especially not this turn. Magma's general considering stepping off of the temple now that the Blood's general is gone. But where's he going to go? I would either position on the lake next to me or move to the stables. He's considering attacking Air's mountain here, which is not bad. He does utilize his free volcano on the swamp. I think he is missing the point of this Pompeii card. Why didn't he purchase his second volcano and then use the free volcano to save himself some resources? So a little inefficient usage of Magma's abilities here from David. But he's still set up. Magma's got a good shot in this game if they are not the target for attacks. And I don't see them currently being targeted. Oh, gosh. So Magma does take that mountain, and imagine if he was tier 2. San Andreas would activate right there. Would immediately get 2 defensive fortifications on it. That would be difficult to take. Fire doesn't get the food. So he is still 1 food short. This is, it's kind of picky. I can't decide if I actually think this is a viable kill for Fire here. Because if Fire moves this army here, if they declare battle cry, Fire moves this, he has to go tier 2 as well, actually. So never mind, all this is out the window, because he can't actually afford 2 attacks. So never mind, everything I said about Fire getting to kill air is gone. But they can still be 1 tile away. And I think it's probably the play. Sadly, wouldn't even own that. Yeah, actually, this is not bad at all. The benefit of going to this lake is that Air's army is away from me, and they can't actually attack me without spending a lot of resources. And then they got Magma to worry about over here. But do I go to the field and cut off all their food supply and their dice roll bonuses? Do I just cripple that? Air's got a great economy over there after just killing a boss. So, Fire's in a super interesting position. Blood's general being over here is spooky. You don't want to train any soldiers over here because Blood is just going to drain them down, making them a little bit stronger. Fire showed an advantage card to Air here. Showing another one. I wonder why they're doing this. They are the 2 lone players on the temple. Are they potentially trading? I think they might be potentially trading the stage fright. So Air is kind of paying back Fire. He's the one that gusted Blood's general into him. And is now saying, hey, here's the means of stopping him if you need that. Magma likely going tier 2 next turn and then ramping up those soldiers and those volcanoes. Maybe they don't go tier 2. I don't... gosh. Magma is cool. I used to think Magma was pretty vanilla. Like, fun element to play, but the strategy was straightforward. But these new abilities, and specifically in this matchup, and the weather, of course, dictate all this too. He can go so many different directions. You were the master of your destiny. Which that's usually the description I use on something like Air. Where their abilities are so diverse, you can pick your strategy depending on what the game is. I feel like Fire's got a little taste of that this game. I don't know how to call this right now. So they are trading advantage cards? They are. They're trading advantage cards, which is why Scooby's turn is a little bit longer. Trading 1 advantage for 2 food! Wait! No! Did Air just make a deal that is going to kill him? Oh, wait. Oh, gosh! If Harsha saw it, how hilarious would that have been if Jake made the deal that... Jake just made the deal advantage card. And that 2 food was his demise. Hall of Fame play right there from Scooby. Best play of the season so far. That's Empires of Aether, baby. Because both their generals were on the temple, they're able to make a deal. Scooby said, I will give you this advantage card. All I need is 2 food from you. You've got tons of food. Give me 2 food. You're still going to be able to go tier 2 this turn. Jake says, why not? That advantage card might actually be good. It's usually a loser's advantage card. But hey, I've got people coming at me right now. This might actually be good. So the deal's honestly not that bad looking. But he just killed the stallion this turn. That is crazy. He makes the deal that causes his demise. I didn't see the food there. Didn't even think about trading. Blood's gonna pop an immediate rain dance here and get a new weather event. Bears does activate. Doesn't work on anyone. Bears gets no soldiers. So Fire has this game about wrapped up. The game is pretty much over at this point. Blood can be a thorn in his side, absolutely, but Blood is no longer a threat to kill him. He's gonna take this capital, which is super interesting. Fire really has, like, no economy anywhere. Yet, all he has to do is get to this boss. So, Magma has to pressure Koga. Oh, he's got this 25 HP boss right here. He's got a lot of options. He's not making that much economy, though. Still has Battlecry at his disposal as well. If he's sitting at... What's he going to be at? Not much. He's going to be making 8? 8 food? I mean, if he's able to get... He needs a little bit more. Fertile Soil would have done it for him. Blood going in, really the first soldiers that are going to be doing anything this game. Blood is going to be taking the trade on Fire's first capital here. But Fire stays in the game because they just took Air's capital. One of the biggest perks of taking someone out of the game is their home is now your home. So Fire is so very much in this game. What a crazy play from Scooby. Gosh, I love that play. And I think everyone is tier 1, right? Is everyone tier 1? Another weather. Celestial alignment. Abilities cannot be activated this turn, so it does slow things down. Magma really has no reason to go tier 2 now. But they can still use Pompeii to create new volcanoes. I would imagine that's probably his play here. But that's going to cost a 7-7. Actually, one of the very few times a reset is clutch, clutch, clutch. 3 pretty poor advantage cards. Reset is going to get him 3 new ones. Really good here. Let's see what he gets. Should have seen it coming. Dude, that was one for the books, man. A very good announce card here. 3 soldiers, 5 food. Throw that on the volcano. We've got Pyroclastic Vents. However, the viability of that ability is not so much there anymore. With Fire's main corner being taken out here. Fire just has to get to Corvus or the Yeti, and the game is over. He's got lots of bosses as an option here. Yeah, oof, that was one for the books. That was insanity. He threatened to get the food from Blood, so I figured to just take the deal. No, dude, I don't blame you for taking the deal. The thing is, though, is... Even if he didn't have the dragon card, the dragon isn't what gave him the kill. He actually had the kill. He just needed to be able to buy the lake and a soldier. And by giving him 1 more food, he had that ability. Because then that soldier could have been the battle cry that goes 2 tiles. Oh no, but he wasn't tier 2, so never mind. The dragon was the only way that works. I keep talking myself out of it. Yes. I just said that. Beginning of turn. Passives do work. So Magma, very interesting, looking to pop raked over the coals. I actually didn't even consider like the implications of this ability. With all these bosses in play, this is actually a really solid card. Not sure that was what his original reason for the take was. But you get 3 volcanoes at +3 to your dice roll, getting 2 soldiers a turn. That's massive kill potential. I didn't even think about that. Aggro Magma? Magro, we'll call it. Magro, trademark, coin it. Absolutely viable. Definitely see it as viable. Faux show. Get some music up in here. Yeah? Put some of that. Alright, let's see what the status here is. Magma's got control over the middle of the board here. That air gust had so much implications on Fire's corner. Fire's able to snake himself out of it, because I'm not really sure he confidently stops Blood in their onslaught. But now, how do we just stop him from getting one boss? It's a struggle. There's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bosses on the board. Any of them die, the game is over. Fire draws Bull by the horns, the game could be over this turn. He also has Call to Arms in his hand. Make that extra tile jump. But Magma is positioning to potentially kill. Oh, I see the play! Gonna convert this to a volcano, teleport 2 armies here. He's gonna go for the kill on air. Oh, I guess it's Fire now. That is crazy. I tried to use the gust to extort Fire, he didn't give in. Dude, I loved your place. Your pathway was there. You couldn't have known he had Dragon. You can't play around advantage cards. You can't. I think that's a mistake play every time. So I don't blame your strategy whatsoever. This was just, I mean, one for the books, right? He turns this into a volcano, but he's got both of these available to him. He can't activate Pyroclastic Vents, but we're going to see the first use of this ability and not used in a way to specifically counter Fire. It is going to be used to kill Fire. Fire's economy is so bad, I think actually, unless he draws Bull by the Horns in these next 2 turns, I think he's dead, actually. How does he defend against this? Oh, I don't know why that flashed in my eyes that it was Bull by the Horns. I could have sworn that was it, and then the game was over. Like, imagine. Imagine if he draws Bull by the Horns right there. But, like, Fire's economy is so garbage. You know what's so interesting? Like, killing a player is usually so good, right? But it's actually... When you have 4 players that know, like, what's going on... The first hydrate of the stream, appreciate that, baby.
Now there's a man who looks like he could use the cool, refreshing splash of a sip of water. Drink up, Captain.
Like, what should we add to killing someone? Should it be that you take their current resources? Something like that? Give you a little bit of a boost? Or is that too powerful? Killing someone is already so powerful. But does killing someone actually need a buff? Dude, actually, look, I don't know about this. Like, Fire feels like he has to, but is he not dead? If he doesn't buy this mountain, is he not dead next turn? I mean, the great news is Scooby is walking around. He already cashed in on win condition. So great stuff. Bolster him in the standings. I think he's dead. I think he doesn't have any units to shift around. I think he's dead. 0-14, he can't get a soldier there. And this is going to be a cool play, too. Fire invested too much into killing me, so he threw. This is a cool play. So he's making enough, right? Going to 15 and 20. But he needs 7 and 7. So he needs 2 food. Doesn't have it from cards, right? Nope, he doesn't. He needs 2 food. If there's any kind of weather that gives him 2 food, the game, I think Magma's just got it. Doesn't get 2 food from the... Air's out of the game, but it is going to be a weather event because Air was in the game. And I don't know if it was a fire throwing event. Like, yes, he invested a lot into killing you, sure. But didn't he have to? With Blood's General there. You can't train troops and throw it into Blood's General. Blood is so oppressive. Like, they're not good at winning. But when you are the person squaring off against them, does it not feel like you can't do anything? They're in such a weird position in this game. Yo! Appreciate that sound, baby. Welcome aboard. Sorry about the fire backstab earlier, but hey, it was 1 for the books. 1 for the books for sure.
The gust at least.
The gust was a mad play. Good play. Great play. Air definitely had a pathway to victory here. Magma is 2 food shy of killing fire. I'm actually hoping that it happens. Because I think, like, there have already been so many cool plays and just very intricate decisions made. This has been a cool matchup. And between 4 of the best players so far, like, I mean, you expect no less. I love the element choices. I love the decisions they're making. I think Magma from 10-10, if they end up snaking this victory, that is so awesome. Utilizing the new abilities in ways that I didn't even, like, really see. But he can't finish off Air without 2 food. I'm rooting for Magma. I gotta remain unbiased, right? I'm hoping for a blood win. If I'm being honest, I'm hoping for a blood win. But also, I can't not root for Harsha to win, Scooby to win, after making that play that he did. Such a good play. Such a good play. Budget cuts is already used here. Dwarf had to have gotten tier 2, right? He does. He goes tier 2. The altar is in play. Unfortunate that he places it on the lake. Soldier sacrifice count is at 5. Blood's going to be taking a free mountain over here. The general now, he's just going to eat. I think the weather lost me the game. That's what Scooby is saying. It's possible. But the weather also made everything that happened happen. Without the weather, you don't know if the game plays out that way. Actually, the real question is, what is the cost of this tile? If there's eventually a weather event that causes boss tiles to be generated, someone kills the boss, owned it, but that player dies, what is the cost to own that tile? Very interesting, right? It would never happen. And yet, I consistently find myself saying that. Oh, wait a minute. Is Fire actually in range to kill this? Or is David going to stop that? Well, we need new weather, right? New weather. And it is tornado season. Air would have really loved to see it. Probably the price of the original tile. Down for that. I think it's good. Weather is valid because Air was in the game. Although it doesn't impact the board, what it means is it's 2 turns of nothing spicy happening in terms of weather. Air really wishing that they had it. Let's see. Magma's advantage card doesn't get them the food they were looking for. He is 2 food shy of killing Fire, putting them out of the game, and really, I think, setting himself up for a victory. But instead, I think what he's going to do is he's going to kill bosses here. Scooby out? Okay. I was like, is he dead or something? And they've already calculated it out? Because I don't see it. Look at this fantastic play from David. Blocking, knows that he can't take the Yeti for himself, but moves a soldier here to disrupt Fire's path. I don't know if it actually stops it, though. It does, because Fire has to be able to go tier 2 to execute 2 attacks. I had this game. You did have this game. You had a very good pathway. You know, the 6, 4 bosses, being generated on the board is really, really good for Air. Magma just encroaching upon Air. Definitely the play. Again, a double fortify here. Once again, if he's 2 food richer, he can pop Pompeii. This is where you utilize that Pompeii earlier more efficiently. But he messed up by not utilizing this free volcano once he gets to the later stages of Pompeii. So we're seeing this inefficient usage of Magma's abilities biting him. Magma could have secured himself the win this turn. But instead, I think what we'll see is he'll probably pop raked over the coals and attack Viprous, right? If only I could put 0.5 win conditions for you in the standings, Jake. If only. What a free... Gosh, that turn. That was a spicy Scooby play. That was a Scooby snack. I'll get the dub next time, don't worry. Dude, I think you found your niche with these aggro elements. I think it's definitely more the oof way. Trying to play aggro metal. So I imagine he popped raked over the coals here. Giving himself that juicy. So he is no longer a defensive nation. He is aggro. If Fire gets anything that can kill this soldier, he can battle cry into the Yeti and still snake this win. But the odds are against him. If I have stables, can I bat form and move once? No, bat form is your general's movement until you have the monument. It's not that bat form is one movement, it is your movement. Gets the Viprous army. Very cool. I'm loving the black aesthetic of the Viprous army. Very nice. And then what we'll see him do is he's generating so many free soldiers each turn. Just going to teleport those to what's going to be a volcano next turn. Kill himself some air. I keep saying air. It's fire. Fire killed air. And it goes to Scooby. Sees advantage card. Unless it's Bull by the Horns. It's not Bull by the Horns. What's Fire's pathway here? 1 food shy of getting an army. He's 1 food shy. The food's not... It's so unfortunate. If he has 1 more food, he can go into Dialgon or Felnir. Same odds. And he's got a shot at killing them. He's 1 food shy. He's been 1 food shy this whole... Wait a minute. Where'd that food come from? He's at 12 food. We got ourselves a winning potential here, right? There is a shot. Actually, wait. Has he lost every dice roll bonus? He has 1 added onto his dice roll. So never mind. He can't kill either of those. Never mind. He has no kill potential this turn. It's been a long time since I've seen a tier 1 victory. But Fire had the chance here. Once again, Corvus is just 25 HP. Could he try for Corvus with Battle Cry? The only way he could... Oh, wait a minute. His general's right here. Where'd that 1 food go? He's doing it! Is he snaking it? He's got +1 on his dice roll. I mean, this is the play. You have to do it. You're dead next turn. He had an extra food. I don't know where it went. He can train 3 soldiers with this. And if he rolls a 6 with 3 soldiers with his general, that's enough to kill it. And then if his general rolls, if his soldiers roll a 5, and his general rolls a 2 or higher, he kills it. So it's not that bad. It's just that 1/3 on the soldiers is so crucial. 1 out of 6 chance because I'm food short. Alright, so this is for the game right here. Scooby is leaving it all on a dice roll. Makes the play of the season. Will it garner him a win? Let's do it, baby! Let's see it! His army is all the way over here. If these soldiers aren't here, he's going in with the army. But he's not. 2 on the general, that's a 7 right there, which means he needs a 6. Needs a 6. It's a 6 or nothing on the soldiers. Wait, no. Yeah, 6. It's a 6. I'm not messing up this math, right? He only has the 1 mountain? He only has the 1 mountain. Because he lost this one. 5 is a tie. Six is for the game! It's a 5! If he rolled 1 higher on his general, it was a win on the game! No! I was really hoping for it, Scooby! And now Scooby is going to die. The elements have spoken. Mountain bonus only for soldiers. It is only for soldiers. All of the territory bonuses like that are only ever for soldiers. Gives the general much more power in the early game, less power in the late game. The elements have spoken. But now this is going to be really cool. Is this going to be a game where 3 different players get win conditions? That'd be cool to see. Or does Magma win next turn? How do they kill a second boss? I don't think they can. Oh, actually, never mind, they can. Atlas right here. He's going to have plenty. So Blood's got to get a win condition right here and or stop Magma. Can Blood even win this? I don't think they can win, but they can get out with a win condition. Oh my gosh! If Scooby rolls 1 higher on his general's dice roll, it's a kill on Corvus. If he's 1 food higher, if his economy is ever so slightly better, he has an army, and then it's a guarantee with the general. Guarantee, right? Yeah, it's a guarantee. Blood finally activating Universal Donor, getting some extra resource buildings on that rainforest. He knows he doesn't have to worry about this fire force here because they're dead this next turn. No way Magma's not killing them. Should have asked you for 3 food, Lamal. Hindsight, baby. Look at all this food over here. That is an interesting thing to consider, though. Killing someone, do you get their resources afterwards? Their current resources, obviously. Interesting thing to consider. It might be a buff that's necessary. But it also... Like, aggro's been super dominant lately, right? I think it's pretty fair that aggro has its downsides. Win conditions are important. They upgrade our place in the standings. But do they win you the game? Harsha says GG in the chat. Dude, 1 higher, man. The elements. I've been there so many times. Blood is now at 10 soldier sacrifice. He does have the teleport feature on his general. Was considering asking for 3. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Killing someone that got late game payout and has another turn yet would be broken. True. True. Very true. But also, people are dying late game. Like, if they're dying truly late game. I'm not talking turn 5. Turn 5's not late game. That's true. 2 put air right on the threshold to go tier 2. That is true. 3 would have been reaching. Imagine if he got it from... I mean, it was more hilarious that he got it from Oof. But imagine if Blood gave him the deal. Blood General was still there, right? Right next to him? I think they were 1 tile away. So Blood needs to cash in on a win condition here, because I think Magma can get 2 bosses and kill Fire this turn. Pretty quick game overall. Sitting at just over an hour right now for the actual gameplay. He could have asked Blood. Yeah, that's what I thought. So imagine if Blood would have given him 3 food. Maybe he would have. Although, I don't think Justin would have gone for the advantage card that Scooby was offering. It was actually, like, that advantage card's garbage, but it actually was decent for Oof at the time, for Air at the time. Is Blood at 25 soldiers sacrificed? Did he just cash in? My boy just cashed in. We're going to turn 6, though. Does Magma win is the question. Choose an opponent to perform the same action. So, obviously going to choose Scooby here because Scooby's still alive, but Scooby will die here. If Oof didn't give it to me, I would have moved to Blood. Yeah, I feel that. I took play dead in the end. Yeah, you did. Except for you weren't playing in the end. You were playing dead for real. Magma's got big power potential here. What are their resources at? 15 and 22 is what he's going to? That's huge. He's got escalated... Oh, yeah, this game's over. Magma's gonna win. Magma Pyroclastic Vents. Yeah, what's this? What's this, man? Pyroclastic Vents over here once he turns this into a volcano, kills Fire Capital, and then with escalated aggression, we can attack Atlas. It's going to be a guarantee. 3, 5, 7 added onto an army's dice roll. So it's an absolute minimum of 40. With the extra soldiers there, guaranteed. Magma's got the win! A 10-10 Magma victory. Absolutely massive. I mean, that's assuming he sees this play, right? It's there. The numbers are there. I gotta say, they were the underdog. I did not... Weather dictated everything in this game, right? But 10-10 Magma has just been brutally terrible. And it's not even these new abilities that won it for him. It's just not. Didn't even use Pompeii the way he should have. Just gonna teleport 1 army there. I think that's kind of risking it. I would go ahead and teleport the full 10. Couldn't get my monument because weather feels bad. Yeah, I feel that. Ceasefire hurt, really? Oh, because you were going to go for Corvus. Okay. Unfortunate that you were air going into Corvus as well. Probably the worst element to get that. Yo, Scooby ain't bowing out, playing the gentleman's game here. Got ourselves a dice roll, baby. Should have taken both armies there. So I assume he went ahead and just said, hey, this is, oh wait, no, he just trained an army there. Didn't even go with the vents? Yo, Scooby's in it! Yo, I think David kind of threw this. He didn't do the play we thought. Yo! Scooby's got all the advantage cards! Escalated aggression gets used there! TTV streaming, by the way. Welcome aboard the SS Man, and welcome aboard. This is... Yo, the win was there, man. The win was there. He says, I'm nuts. Only took 3 very good advantage cards to do so. Yo, you got it. Don't count people out. Not everyone bows out when they're on the back burner. This might give Blue Shadow... I think Magma still wins, right? But this gives Blue Shadow a chance to cash in on a win condition, probably. I can't even see what that yellow dice is. Oh, that's a barracks. General dice rolls a 3. See the soldiers here. Let's see it. Let's see it. Fire just kills boss next turn. Wait, do they... Does he? But Blood still has to play. Oh, he does! Both are a 5. But isn't it forced retry? Isn't it forced retry? Then David have to re-roll? Huh? It's in! So David's got to re-roll, right? Oh, he rolled 2 5s. Oh, he hasn't even rolled yet. Unfortunate for the forced retry. Doesn't come into play. 3 on the general. That's an 8. 5 on the soldiers, which is actually a 1-2. So it's a 7. So he's attacking with 53. Leaving nothing to chance. It's Arsha. 6 times 5 is a 30. I think it's a 53 to 55. No way! No way! The mathematical win was there, was it not? If he brings both the armies there, and now Fire takes Corvus. Fire wins that defense by 2. Scooby stays in it. Coming into the chat, throwing up the GG. And now he just takes Corvus. The game is over. Scooby takes it. And David cashes in a throw. 2 competitive games in a row. The mathematical win was there, I think. I think it was assured. Right? It was. Because you use Pompeii to convert that to another volcano. It adds 1 to your dice roll. You get 2 armies there at the mountain instead. Attack with 2 armies with +3 on your dice roll. And you can still take Atlas with escalated aggression. Guaranteed. The play was there! Holy moly, what a game! I gotta say, I don't ever want to have bias going into a game, but so I'm glad Scooby wins that game after making the play of the season. It was a stolen win, don't get me wrong, an absolutely stolen win, but it's a win nevertheless. I think that counts as getting revenge for game 1 of the season, which is still under scrutiny. Was the wrong victor declared? Was it actually Scooby that should have won? Was it? I don't know. He also could have attacked the boss first with escalated aggression, giving him another free volcano on there. But no, the play was there. We know what the play was. Still could have attacked Atlas first, right, and done San Andreas. That's actually a really cool play. But you still have to teleport those soldiers away. Gotta use Pyroclastic. I really think aggro Magma had such a viable strategy here. Honestly, in making these abilities, I knew it was a more aggressive approach, sure. But I didn't think Magro was going to be so powerful looking. And this was from 10-10, ladies and gentlemen. I think David might have unlocked something that is probably super, super good. Potentially broken. We'll find out in later matches, but I don't know. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, this was Empires of Aether, the next great turn-based strategy board game that allows you to wield the power of an element of your choosing via control of a new power, new land, a new element. Aether. What a spicy game. Coolest game of the season. Easily. Blue Shadow says, I was just playing catch a ball game. It did kind of feel like that, right? I felt like the other elements were... It wasn't that you play poorly. It's that other elements were able to make more impactful plays before you. I liked your plays over on Fire's corner, though. I think that was a cool move. I think it's just that Fire can move fast, obviously. And him moving fast allowed Magma to move quickly on him. Should have closed him out, right? But hey, I don't know. Thanks for joining us tonight, baby. We've got another match tomorrow night featuring 4 different players. Hope you'll tune in. Tell your mom, tell your dad. Put us on the big screen. Put us on the big screen, baby. Can't wait to go public with this show. We got something beautiful brewing. Tonight felt cool. Cool to be a part of it. Hope you guys watching it. That was pretty cool. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow.